Number 1. 1982 Cadillac Eldorado, priced at $3,800. Now here's an interesting entry-level classic from Cadillac's luxury lineup. The 1982 Cadillac Eldorado represents a time when Cadillac was blending traditional luxury with a slightly more compact and modern design compared to the massive models of the 1970s. This example comes finished in blue on blue, with a blue exterior and matching blue interior that gives it that unmistakable early 80s luxury vibe. The Eldorado's design is sleek and elegant, with sharp body lines, a long hood, and just the right amount of chrome trim to remind you it's still a Cadillac. Under the hood sits Cadillac's HT4100 V8 engine, paired with an automatic transmission. According to the seller, the engine is strong and the car runs, drives, and stops, meaning it's still capable of being driven home and enjoyed on the road. The odometer shows about 84,103 miles, which is pretty reasonable for a car of this age. The seller also notes quite a bit of recent mechanical work, including a new radiator, transmission cooler, hoses, thermostat, vacuum lines, brake components, fuel lines, a new fuel tank, and even a fresh set of tires. So mechanically, a lot of the important basics have already been addressed. However, the car does come with a few typical classic car quirks. The gauge cluster isn't working, the climate control can be inconsistent, and the seats currently don't function. There's also some cosmetic wear and it could benefit from bodywork and minor finishing touches. Still, at under $4,000, this Eldorado could be a fun and affordable classic cruiser or restoration project. Alright, let's move on to the next classic. Number 2. 1978 Ford Mustang II, priced at $4,000. Now this is a cool reminder of the late 70s Mustang era. The 1978 Ford Mustang II came during a time when Ford shifted the Mustang toward a smaller, lighter platform, and today these cars have developed a unique charm among classic car fans. This particular example is finished in white with a red interior, a color combination that really pops and gives the car a strong vintage look. The Mustang II has a compact and sporty design, with a shorter body, clean lines, and classic late 70s styling that still stands out today. Under the hood, this car comes with the optional V8 engine, paired with a C4 automatic transmission. That combination makes it a fun and easy cruiser, with enough power to give the car that classic American feel on the road. The odometer shows about 55,000 miles, which is fairly low for a car that's been around for nearly 5 decades. According to the seller, the car runs great and recently received fresh paint, helping the exterior look much cleaner and more presentable. Another big plus is that the body is described as rust-free with original panels, chrome, and glass, something that's becoming harder to find on many cars from this era. There are a few small things that still need attention, including new carpet, ball joints, and tie rod ends, but overall the car sounds like a solid driver with good potential. For around $4,000, this Mustang II could be a fun budget classic or an easy project to bring back to its full glory. Alright, let's move on to the next classic. Number 3. 1982 GMC Caballero Amarillo, priced at $5,500. Now here's a vehicle that sits in a really interesting corner of automotive history. The 1982 GMC Caballero is basically GMC's version of the classic American car-based pickup, sharing its roots with the Chevrolet El Camino. It blends the comfort of a car with the practicality of a small truck. This example is finished in burgundy with a red interior, giving it a bold and very period-correct early 80s look. The Caballero Amarillo trim adds a bit of extra style, and the overall design features that long hood, squared front end, and open cargo bed that made these vehicles so versatile. Under the hood, the truck runs on gasoline and is paired with an automatic transmission, making it a relaxed cruiser that's easy to drive around town or on the highway. The odometer currently shows about 186,674 miles, which means it has definitely seen plenty of road time over the years. But that's pretty common for vehicles built to be both workhorses and daily drivers. According to the seller, the vehicle has had only 2 owners, and the title is fully paid off. The price is listed based on classic car valuation guides, but the seller also mentions that the price is flexible, which could make this an interesting opportunity for someone looking for a unique classic utility vehicle. With its unusual mix of car styling and pickup practicality, the Caballero still has plenty of character today. Alright, let's move on to the next classic. Number 4. 1975 Chevrolet Monte Carlo Tudor, priced at $6,250. Now here's a classic mid-70s American cruiser that still carries plenty of muscle car spirit. The 1975 Chevrolet Monte Carlo represents that era when Chevrolet blended big body comfort with a touch of performance and style. This example comes finished in green with a matching green interior, giving it a very authentic 1970s look. The Monte Carlo's design features that long hood, wide stance, and strong body lines, making it one of the most recognizable personal luxury coupes of its time. Under the hood, this one has been upgraded with a 383 cubic inch V8 paired with a 4-barrel carburetor, offering more power than the original setup. The seller also mentions a new carburetor, a new starter, a new exhaust system, and brand new tires, which are all great signs for a car that's meant to be driven and enjoyed. The odometer currently shows about 82,525 miles, and overall the car sounds like a solid driver. The frame, trunk, and floors are described as solid, which is always a big plus when it comes to classic cars. Inside, the original interior is still in place and reportedly in clean condition for its age, and the headliner is said to be in good shape as well. Features like a tilt steering wheel and Corvette-style rims with new beauty rings add a little extra personality to the car. There are a few minor things that could use attention, including some surface rust around the rear window area from the vinyl top, but the seller suggests it should be a relatively simple fix. For just over $6,000, this Monte Carlo could be a fun weekend cruiser or a solid starting point for a restoration project. Alright, let's move on to the next classic. Number 5. 1966 Buick LeSabre Custom Sedan, priced at $8,800. Now here's a full-size American classic that really represents the comfort and style of the mid-1960s. The 1966 Buick LeSabre was designed to deliver smooth cruising, bold styling, and plenty of power under the hood. This particular example is finished in green with a matching green interior, a color combination that fits perfectly with the era. The design features wide body lines, a long flowing profile, and lots of chrome accents, giving the car that unmistakable classic Buick presence on the road. Under the hood sits the Buick 375 Wildcat V8, paired with a 3-speed automatic transmission. That combination was known for delivering strong torque and effortless highway cruising, making these big Buicks extremely comfortable cars to drive. The odometer currently shows about 21,000 miles, which is quite low if accurate, and the seller describes the car as a very good driver that can still be enjoyed on the road today. Another nice feature is factory air conditioning, something that added an extra level of comfort when these cars were new. Condition-wise, the car isn't perfect. The seller mentions some rust bubbles around the quarter panels and the trunk lid, but importantly the underside of the car is said to be solid, which is always a big plus when dealing with classic vehicles. Overall, this LeSabre sounds like a solid driver with classic 1960s luxury and plenty of character. Alright, let's move on to the next classic. Number 6. 1975 Volkswagen Beetle convertible, priced at $4,500. Now here's one of the most recognizable cars ever built. The 1975 Volkswagen Beetle represents the final years of the classic air-cooled Beetle design, a car that became a global icon thanks to its simplicity, reliability, and unmistakable shape. This particular example comes finished in bright orange with a black interior, a color combination that really highlights the fun personality of the Beetle. The design is instantly recognizable with its rounded fenders, compact body, and simple yet charming styling that has barely changed for decades. Inside, the convertible layout adds an extra level of enjoyment. One especially interesting feature mentioned by the seller is rear factory air conditioning, something you don't often see on classic Beetles and definitely a nice bonus for warmer climates. The car is equipped with a manual transmission, staying true to the classic Beetle driving experience. The odometer currently shows around 12,345 miles, although with classic cars like this it's always worth verifying. According to the seller, the engine turns over by hand, but the car hasn't been fully started recently. That means this Beetle will likely need some mechanical attention before hitting the road again. Still, with its clear title, convertible body, and rare factory AC, this car could make a great restoration project for someone looking to bring a classic Volkswagen back to life. Alright, let's move on to the next classic. Number 7. 1963 Oldsmobile Dynamic 88, priced at $8,000. Now here's a big American cruiser from the early 1960s that doesn't show up every day. The 1963 Oldsmobile Dynamic 88 was a full-size car known for its smooth ride, bold styling, and strong V8 power, and interestingly, 1963 was actually a one-year design, making this model a little more unique among classic Oldsmobiles. This example comes finished in blue, and like most cars from this era, it carries that unmistakable early 60s presence with its wide stance, flowing body lines, and plenty of chrome details across the grille and trim. Under the hood sits a 394 cubic inch, 6.5-liter V8 paired with a 2-barrel carburetor, delivering the kind of torque these big cruisers were known for. What really makes this car unusual, though, is the 3-speed manual transmission, a very rare option for a full-size Oldsmobile like this. The odometer shows about 113,000 miles, and according to the seller, the car has actually been used as a daily driver for the past 2 years, which says a lot about how well it still runs and drives. Mechanically, quite a bit has already been addressed. The brake system has been updated with front disc brakes, new brake lines, and a split master cylinder, while the carburetor was recently rebuilt and the ignition upgraded to electronic. The car has also had a recent alignment and clutch adjustment. Of course, like many classics, it's not perfect. It could use a couple of tires, some suspension bushings, and there's minor rust around the rear wheel area and trunk lid, along with a small exhaust leak and a slight oil leak. Still, for around $8,000, this dynamic 88 offers a unique manual transmission classic that can already be driven and enjoyed while slowly improving it over time. Alright, let's move on to the next classic. Number 8. 1979 Lincoln Continental Mark VII, priced at $3,000. Now here's a big slice of classic American luxury that could be a really interesting project. The 1979 Lincoln Continental Mark VII carries that unmistakable late 70s luxury coupe vibe of long hood, wide body lines, and a design that was all about presence on the road. Finished in black with a red interior, this car has that bold color combination that really fits the personality of these big Lincoln coupes. Even today, it still has the kind of look that stands out, especially with that long, elegant body and classic American styling. Under the hood, this Lincoln has seen quite a bit of recent mechanical work. The seller mentions a new intake manifold, newer carburetor, distributor, alternator, voltage regulator, heater core, and battery, along with completely redone front brakes with new calipers and lines. The rear brakes have also been updated and just need to be bled. The odometer currently shows around 91,000 miles, and according to the seller, the car runs and drives, even making weekend trips around Tennessee, which shows it's still capable of getting out on the road. That said, this is definitely more of a project car. The brake lights currently don't work, the air conditioning compressor has been removed for rebuilding, and there appears to be a small electrical charging issue related to a fusible link. But the car does come with new carpet and trim pieces, which is a great start for someone planning a restoration. For around $3,000, this Lincoln could be a solid restoration or restomod candidate, especially for someone who appreciates big luxury coupes from the late 70s. Alright, let's move on to the next classic. Number 9. 1979 Ford Thunderbird LX Coupe, priced at $7,000.
1979 Ford Thunderbird with the 302. Not the original engine, but it was put in before I got the vehicle. She got a new top, new vinyl. Going inside. Dashboard. 111,679. She fires right up. The interior. Dashboard, radio. I have the windshield wiper fluid, windshield wiper knob, brand new. Doors, back seat. T-tops are off. Ready to go.
Now this is a classic late 70s personal luxury coupe that really captures the style of the era. The 1979 Ford Thunderbird LX features long, smooth body lines, a wide stance, and plenty of presence on the road, exactly what people expected from a luxury coupe back in the day. This particular car is finished in a tan exterior with a matching tan interior, giving it that warm, period-correct look that fits perfectly with the Thunderbird's design. One of the coolest features here is the factory-style T-tops, which add a little extra fun to the driving experience, especially on a nice sunny day. Under the hood, the seller mentions that quite a few maintenance items have already been handled. The car has a new fuel pump and fuel filter, a rebuilt alternator, a new steering pump with hoses, and a new temperature sensor. On top of that, the vacuum system has been sorted out and the engine bay appears original, very much what you'd expect from a classic from the late 1970s. The car rides on Astro Tim's wheels with newer Hankook tires, and it also comes with 4 original polycast rims, which is a nice bonus for anyone wanting to return the car to a more factory look. The odometer shows around 111,700 miles, and overall it sounds like a solid driver. The seller notes that the T-tops do not leak, and the vinyl roof was replaced just a week ago, which alone cost about $1,000. Of course, like many classics of this age, there are a few imperfections, some small rust spots around the trunk and behind the wheels, along with a little rust starting in the passenger door. The paint is original and shows typical wear, and the passenger window works but moves a bit slowly. Still, for about $7,000, this Thunderbird could make a great daily cruiser or a fun restoration project for someone who loves late 70s American luxury coupes. Alright, let's move on to the next classic. Number 10. 1975 Pontiac Catalina, priced at $7,000.
Cold start.
Now here's a true full-size American cruiser from the mid-1970s. The 1975 Pontiac Catalina represents the era when big sedans ruled the road, with long body lines, wide stance, and that classic land yacht presence that Pontiac was known for. This example comes finished in a beautiful whiskey orange or tangerine exterior paired with a tan interior, a color combination that really captures the spirit of the 1970s. In the sunlight, that orange paint gives the car a warm vintage look, and the overall styling, complete with the 1975 rectangular headlights and bold grille, still looks incredibly distinctive today. Under the hood sits a 400 cubic inch V8, paired with an automatic transmission. It's not about raw speed with these cars, it's about smooth, effortless cruising. According to the seller, the car starts every time and runs strong, making it a proper turnkey classic you can hop in and drive. The odometer shows about 52,550 miles, and the car appears to have been well cared for. A brand new radiator has recently been installed, and both heat and air conditioning are fully functional, which is always a nice bonus in a classic from this era. Inside, the tan interior is in very good shape, offering plenty of space and comfort, just like you'd expect from a full-size Pontiac sedan. All the lights, gauges, and accessories are said to be working as they should. Of course, there are a couple of small imperfections, including a minor rust bubble on the door and a small spot on the driver's floor pan, but overall the body is described as very solid for a car of its age. For about $7,000, this Catalina offers a lot of classic American metal, a big V8, and that unmistakable 70s cruising experience. Alright, let's move on to the next classic. Number 11. 1988 Cadillac Eldorado Coupe, priced at $10,900. Now this is a really clean example of late 80s American luxury. The 1988 Cadillac Eldorado represents Cadillac's approach to the personal luxury coupe: sleek styling, smooth performance, and a focus on comfort above everything else. This particular Eldorado comes finished in a white exterior with a matching white interior, which gives the car a very elegant, almost showroom-style appearance. The design is very much of its era, with smooth body lines, a low hood, and that signature Cadillac grille that instantly lets you know what you're looking at. One of the standout things about this car is the very low mileage, just about 35,000 miles, which is extremely low for a car that's nearly 4 decades old. According to the seller, the car is described as immaculate, suggesting it has been carefully kept and preserved over the years. Under the hood, the Eldorado is paired with an automatic transmission, delivering the kind of smooth and relaxed driving experience Cadillac was famous for. This isn't a car built for aggressive driving, it's built for quiet cruising, soaking up miles on the highway in comfort. Inside, the cabin is all about luxury. Cadillac coupes from this era typically came with plush seating, a quiet ride, and a very driver-focused dashboard layout that made long drives incredibly comfortable. For $10,900, this Eldorado could be a great option for someone looking for a well-preserved 80s luxury coupe, whether as a weekend cruiser, a future collectible, or simply a clean classic to enjoy. Alright, let's move on to the next classic. Number 12. 1976 Oldsmobile Toronado Brougham, priced at $10,000. Now here's a really interesting piece of classic American engineering. The 1976 Oldsmobile Toronado Brougham represents the final years of one of GM's most unique luxury coupes, famous for its massive 455 cubic inch V8 and front-wheel drive layout, something that was pretty unusual for big American cars of the time. This example comes finished in black with a red velour interior, a bold color combination that really captures the luxury vibe of the mid-1970s. The Toronado has a very distinctive design too, with its long hood, wide stance, hidden headlight styling, and that unmistakable personal luxury coupe presence. Under the hood sits the legendary 455 cubic inch V8, and according to the seller, about $4,000 has recently been invested into refreshing the car mechanically. That includes rebuilt carburetor work, a refreshed fuel system, new spark plugs and wires, brake components, belts, filters, and more. It also has brand new front tires, making it ready for the road. The odometer shows about 48,400 original miles, which is impressively low for a car of this era. The seller says the car starts right up and runs strong, and it could even be used as a comfortable daily cruiser if someone wanted to. Inside, the red velour interior is in very good condition, and the car is well equipped with classic luxury features like power seats, power windows, power locks, power antenna, and tilt steering. It's not completely perfect, though. The car would benefit from a fresh paint job and a few minor cosmetic fixes, but structurally and mechanically it sounds like a very solid example. For $10,000, this Toronado offers big V8 power, unique front-wheel drive engineering, and a great opportunity to own a distinctive 70s luxury classic. Alright, let's move on to the next classic. Number 13, 1984 Pontiac Grand Prix Coupe, priced at $9,800. Now here's a cool example of a classic 80s American sport coupe. The 1984 Pontiac Grand Prix carries that unmistakable G-body styling, sharp lines, a long hood, and a sporty stance that made these cars really popular during the muscle revival era of the 1980s. This particular car comes finished in blue with a matching blue interior, giving it a very period-correct look that feels straight out of the mid-80s. The Grand Prix design has always balanced luxury and sportiness, with a sleek coupe profile and just enough attitude to make it stand out at cruise nights. Under the hood, this Grand Prix has been slightly modified, now running a 350 small-block Chevy V8 paired with an automatic transmission. That's a popular upgrade for these cars, giving it more power and that deep V8 rumble enthusiasts love. It should make this coupe a really fun cruiser, especially for weekend drives or local car meets. The odometer shows around 31,827 miles, which is surprisingly low for a car of this age. According to the seller, the car is clean, well-kept, and ready for summer cruise nights, suggesting it's already a solid driver that you can enjoy right away. Inside, the blue interior keeps the classic 80s vibe alive, with a comfortable cabin that reflects the sporty luxury Pontiac was aiming for with the SE trim. For $9,800, this Grand Prix offers a great combination of classic G-body style, V8 power, and plenty of potential for cruising or light restoration if someone wanted to take it even further. Alright, let's move on to the next classic. Number 14, 1962 Ford Thunderbird Landau, priced at $13,500. Now this is a true icon from the early 1960s. The 1962 Ford Thunderbird Landau belongs to the famous Bullet Bird generation, known for its sleek design, futuristic styling, and the kind of luxury that made the Thunderbird one of America's most desirable personal luxury cars. Right away, the styling stands out. The Thunderbird from this era features sharp body lines, a wide stance, and that distinctive Landau roof design with the signature S-bar on the rear pillar. It's a design that perfectly captures the bold optimism of the early 60s automotive era. This particular car is equipped with an automatic transmission with a column shifter, giving it that classic cruising feel that these Thunderbirds were built for. Interestingly, the braking system has been upgraded to four-wheel disc brakes, which can greatly improve stopping power and drivability compared to the original setup. But the seller also kept the original drum brakes, wheels, and hubcaps, and they're all included with the car. That's great news for collectors who might want the option to return the car to a more factory-correct configuration. Another nice touch is that the sale also includes the original owner's manual, a shop manual, and even a die-cast Danbury mint replica of the car, which adds a bit of collectible charm to the package. Overall, the car is described as being in good used condition, making it a solid classic that someone could enjoy right away while gradually improving or restoring over time. For $13,500, this Thunderbird offers classic 60s styling, a touch of modern braking upgrades, and plenty of character as a vintage American cruiser. Alright, let's move on to the next classic. Number 15, 1980 Pontiac Firebird Trans Am, priced at $16,500. Now here's a car that instantly screams classic American muscle. The 1980 Pontiac Firebird Trans Am represents the final years of the second-generation Firebird, a design that became legendary thanks to its aggressive styling and unmistakable road presence. This example comes finished in a bold orange exterior with a tan interior, a color combination that really fits the attitude of the Trans Am. With its long hood, low stance, and wide body lines, the car still looks just as dramatic today as it did back in the late 70s and early 80s. Under the hood, this Trans Am has been engine swapped with a 350 small block Chevy paired with a small cam, giving it the classic V8 rumble enthusiasts love. Power is sent through what the seller believes is a 200R4 automatic transmission, making it a comfortable cruiser that can still deliver plenty of muscle car character. The odometer shows about 163,000 miles, but according to the seller the car runs and drives great, and it's ready to be enjoyed right away. It even comes with new rear brakes and newer Goodyear tires with plenty of tread, so it's set up nicely for hitting the road. Inside, the car has been updated slightly with a Bluetooth radio, which is a convenient modern touch while still keeping the classic feel of the cabin. Of course, it's not a perfect show car. The floor pans have been repaired, and there's some typical rust around the trunk area and under the driver's fender. The air conditioning and heat are currently not hooked up, but overall the car is described as a solid driver that gets attention everywhere it goes. For $16,500, this Trans Am offers classic second-generation muscle car styling, a strong V8 swap, and a lot of personality for anyone looking for a fun vintage cruiser. Alright, let's move on to the next classic. Number 16, 1977 Ford Maverick priced at $17,000. Now here's a compact classic that packs a serious punch. The 1977 Ford Maverick may have started life as a simple, affordable American coupe, but this particular example has clearly been transformed into something much more exciting. Finished in blue with a black interior, the car has a clean, classic look that really suits the Maverick's simple body lines. The seller says the body is straight with no dents and the frame is completely solid, and since the car originally came from Florida, rust doesn't appear to be an issue. But the real story here is under the hood. This Maverick is powered by a Blueprint 347-stroker crate engine, with only about 11,000 miles since the engine and gauge cluster were replaced. That setup makes this car significantly more powerful than a stock Maverick, and according to the seller, it's very fast and an absolute blast to drive. The engine is paired with a C4 3-speed automatic transmission with a shift kit and a B&M ratchet shifter, giving it a much more performance-oriented feel. Fuel delivery comes from an Edelbrock 600 CFM carburetor, and the car also includes an extra 650 carb if the next owner wants to experiment with tuning. For stopping power, it features front disc brakes and rear drum brakes, while the steering remains manual, giving the car a more raw, old-school driving experience. The car has gone through an older restoration, and while the paint still shows very well, there are a few small chips and scratches typical of a driver-quality classic. Overall, this Maverick sounds like a fun, powerful street machine that gets attention wherever it goes. For $17,000, it offers strong V8 performance, classic 70s styling, and a great platform for anyone looking for a unique muscle-style cruiser. Alright, let's move on to the next classic. Number 17, 1966 Ford Mustang II priced at $20,000. Now here's one of the cars that truly defined the American pony car era. The 1966 Ford Mustang remains one of the most recognizable classics ever built, and it's easy to see why. With its long hood, short rear deck, and simple but sporty styling, the Mustang quickly became a symbol of 1960s American performance. This particular example comes finished in yellow with a black interior, a combination that really highlights the Mustang's sporty personality. The body lines are clean and timeless, and even decades later, the design still looks right at home on the road. Under the hood sits the legendary 289 cubic inch V8, paired with a manual transmission, which is exactly the kind of setup enthusiasts love in these early Mustangs. According to the seller, the car appears to be numbers matching with factory color, interior, and engine configuration, although the exact originality of the engine isn't fully confirmed. Mechanically, the car has received some useful upgrades as well, including front disc brakes and a stainless steel exhaust system, both of which improve drivability and reliability while still keeping the classic feel intact. The car underwent an older restoration, and overall it still presents very well. It's not a concours show car, but the seller says it runs, drives, and sounds great, which is really what matters for someone looking to enjoy a classic. There are a few cosmetic imperfections, including some pitting on the roof paint and a few small chips, but nothing unusual for a vintage car that's been enjoyed over the years. For $20,000, this Mustang could be a great classic to drive as is or a solid starting point for someone planning a full restoration down the road. Alright, let's move on to the next classic. Number 18. 1963 Chevrolet Corvair 700 priced at $19,995. Now here's a classic that stands out for being a little different from the typical American cars of the 1960s. The 1963 Chevrolet Corvair 700 was known for its unique engineering, featuring a rear-mounted air-cooled engine, something that made it one of the most unusual American cars of its time. This particular example is a four-door model finished in a beautiful red exterior with a beige interior, and it really shows off the clean, simple design that made the Corvair so distinctive. The car also features two-tone paint that was redone about 2 years ago, giving it a fresh and eye-catching look. According to the seller, this is a two-owner car with around 82,900 miles, and it has gone through a pretty thorough refresh. Inside, the interior and carpet are brand new, giving the cabin a very clean, almost showroom-like feel. Mechanically, the car has also received several important updates. It comes with 2 brand new carburetors, along with new brakes, a new emergency brake system, and brand new white wall tires with fresh rims. All of that helps make the car feel much more reliable and ready for regular driving. The seller describes it as mechanically solid and turnkey, meaning it's the kind of classic you can simply start up and enjoy right away. For $19,995, this Corvair offers a nicely restored example of one of Chevrolet's most unique classic cars, perfect for collectors or anyone looking for a vintage cruiser that's a little different from the usual muscle car crowd. Alright, let's move on to the next classic. Number 19. 1953 Mercury Monterey priced at $24,900. Now this is the kind of classic that immediately takes you back to the golden era of American automobiles. The 1953 Mercury Monterey represents the bold styling and presence that defined early 1950s cars, with wide body lines, plenty of chrome, and that unmistakable vintage attitude. This particular example comes finished in a beautiful blue exterior paired with a matching blue interior, giving it that perfectly coordinated classic look that was so popular during the era. The design is pure 1950s Americana, from the rounded fenders to the elegant chrome trim running along the body. According to the seller, the car has been nicely restored and shows very well for its age. With about 85,000 miles on the odometer, it appears to have been cared for and preserved over the years. The restoration helps bring the car back to life while still keeping its original character intact. Inside, the cabin reflects the style of the early 50s with a wide bench seat, simple dashboard layout, and lots of vintage charm. Everything about this car is designed for comfortable cruising rather than aggressive performance. Out on the road, a car like this is all about the experience. With its automatic transmission and smooth V8-powered cruising character, the Monterey is the type of classic you drive slowly, enjoying the attention it naturally attracts wherever it goes. And at $24,900, this Mercury could be a fantastic entry into the world of early 1950s American classics, either as a weekend cruiser or as a show-worthy vintage piece with room for further detailing or restoration touches. Alright, let's move on to the next classic. Number 20. 1972 Pontiac Grand Prix J priced at $21,000. Now this is a great example of early 70s American personal luxury mixed with muscle car attitude. The 1972 Pontiac Grand Prix J was known for its long hood, short rear deck, and bold front grille, giving it a very distinctive presence on the road. This particular car comes finished in a classic green exterior, and it really highlights those sharp body lines that Pontiac designed during this era. The Grand Prix was meant to feel both sporty and luxurious, and you can see that in the styling, the long sweeping hood, and the driver-focused interior layout. Under the hood sits a 400 cubic inch V8 paired with an automatic transmission, which was a strong and reliable setup back in the day. It's the kind of engine that delivers smooth torque and that unmistakable classic American V8 sound. According to the seller, this example has around 70,000 original miles, and what makes it even more interesting is the amount of documentation that comes with it. The car includes the original bill of sale, Protect-O plate, owner's manual, maintenance history, and even the build sheet, which is something collectors really appreciate. The car spent several years in storage but was started regularly, and the seller says it runs and starts without hesitation. The body is reported to have no exterior rust, and the chrome still presents nicely, helping preserve that original vintage look. With features like power windows and factory air conditioning, this Grand Prix was well equipped for its time and still makes for a comfortable classic cruiser today. For $21,000, this Grand Prix J could be a fantastic time capsule style classic, something you can drive and enjoy while still appreciating its originality.